Ferrari, a legendary team synonymous with glory, is now shaken by a shocking issue. A leaked recording reveals a heated argument between Lewis Hamilton and his engineer, exposing the fragility of a collaboration that should be key to victory. Amid immense pressure to restore the prancing horse's glory, the drama is under intense scrutiny. Could this internal strife derail Ferrari's big dream with Hamilton? Let's discuss it. Hungary 2025 has become a new flashpoint in Ferrari's journey. This season, a brief moment on the team radio, just 2 words from Hamilton, revealed an internal conflict that goes far deeper than mere track speed. "I'm useless." These 2 short, sharp, emotionally charged words escaped Hamilton's mouth while he was speeding at 300 kilometers per hour on the Hungaroring track. To the casual viewer, it sounded like a world champion was running out of steam. However, to those who understand Hamilton, those words weren't a sign of surrender. They were a signal of war. Over the radio, the calm voice of Ferrari's experienced race engineer, Riccardo Adami, was heard trying to calm Hamilton. But behind his measured words was a subtle pause. It was a split second of silence, louder than the roar of the engine in Formula One. That pause could mean many things: doubt, internal conflict, or political pressure from the pit wall. Ferrari entered the Hungarian Grand Prix with a heavy burden. Red Bull remained an elusive benchmark, and the team was in internal turmoil. Hamilton's presence at Maranello wasn't just about performance, it was also about culture. Hamilton arrived as a disruptor, a driver who dared to challenge tradition, question decisions, and push the team beyond its comfort zone. In contrast, there was Charles Leclerc, the Prince of Ferrari, with his smooth driving style and fierce loyalty, which made him a perfect fit for the team's classic philosophy. These contrasting styles gave rise to a battle beyond mere speed, a battle of vision since free practice. Hamilton had repeatedly complained about the car's rear-end stability, as well as its slow and inconsistent throttle response. He firmly requested significant changes to the suspension setup to address these weaknesses, considering them essential for competing at the top level. However, just hours before the race, Ferrari's strategy desk made a shocking decision. His recommendation was rejected, and his car was modified to align with the team's optimization approach, which was considered more aligned with its long-term development direction. To Hamilton, the decision was about more than just technical differences. To him, it was a brutal confirmation of who truly held the power at Ferrari. He felt that he had been deliberately allowed to take to the track in a car that didn't reflect his driving style, as if he were merely part of the team's grand experiment. Hamilton's voice broke out in bitterness on the radio, saying, "I'm useless," wasn't an empty complaint born of momentary frustration. It conveyed a deeper message. Hamilton was battling formidable rivals on the track, and the political forces lurking behind the red garage walls, a hidden battle perhaps more formidable than the wheel-to-wheel duels. Engineer Riccardo Adami was now in a far more difficult position than usual. Under normal circumstances, a request as simple as an engine map change could be executed in a matter of seconds, seemingly a routine, thoughtless affair. But this time was different. There was a pause, a brief silence behind the radio voice that was louder than the shouts. The pause signaled that the decision was no longer merely technical, but also involved a larger dimension: balancing performance, long-term strategy, and the urgent orders from upper management. In Formula One, an engineer is more than just a transmitter of data or a graphical translator from computer to driver. They are a bridge of trust and the only voice that can calm or rattle a champion amidst the frenzy of racing. When that bridge begins to crack, the impact is felt not only in the personal relationship between driver and engineer, but it can also shake the foundation of the entire team's strategy. In a sport determined by split seconds, a small rift in communication can turn into a chasm that determines victory or defeat. Following the Hungarian race, Hamilton stopped venting his frustrations over the team radio. Instead, he adopted a cooler, more systematic, and more calculated approach. In the simulator, his preferred setup gradually received higher priority. At every internal meeting, Hamilton was present with detailed notes, recording every input and compiling them into strong evidence of his technical contributions. Behind the scenes, this change was also evident in his relationship with his race engineer, Riccardo Adami, Gradually, Adami began defending Hamilton's views more often, even in technical discussions that had previously always favored Charles Leclerc. This situation gave rise to two conflicting views within the team. Some mechanics saw it as normal, a natural growing bond between driver and engineer. Others, however, saw it as a sign of silent rebellion that could alter Ferrari's development direction this season. The contrast between Hamilton and Leclerc became increasingly apparent. Hamilton displayed an adaptive and aggressive style, always seeking new opportunities through extreme, risky experiments. Meanwhile, Leclerc took a different approach, one that was stable, precise, and perfectly suited to Ferrari's philosophy of caution and careful calculation. This difference extends beyond the on-track driving style to car development. The question now is whether Ferrari will dare build a wild and unpredictable engine to meet Hamilton's needs or maintain the classic stability that enables Leclerc to perform consistently. This is the major dilemma facing Maranello. The debate is no longer purely technical, it has become a matter of Ferrari's identity. All the tension now boils down to Monza, Ferrari's home track. The stands are filled with tifosi, Ferrari's fans, who fill the stands with a sea of red and are vibrating with anticipation and emotion. At this historic circuit, every strategic decision, every pit stop, and every radio call will be scrutinized and debated. If Ferrari prioritizes Hamilton's strategy, it will send a clear message that the team is ready to break with tradition and embrace a new path with the seven-time world champion. However, if Leclerc is prioritized again, the message will be no less powerful. Ferrari remains loyal to its former star, the great hope of Monaco, Monza, with all its history, pride, and emotional pressure. Could be the breaking point of Ferrari's internal civil war, a moment that will determine the team's future. At the circuit nicknamed the Temple of Speed, every technical and strategic decision impacts not only the race result, but also the trust between drivers, engineers, and management. The loud cheers of the tifosi will reveal whether Ferrari can unite in the storm or fall apart on the biggest stage of the season. The drama in Hungary was more than just a heated radio incident. It was a vivid portrait of Ferrari at a crossroads, torn between the legacy of the past and the demands of the future. Hamilton, in his determined style, is battling not only formidable rivals on the track, but also attempting to change the team's DNA from within. This mission could determine whether Ferrari remains trapped in the shadow of history or finally dares to step into a bolder, more modern era. Will Ferrari stick with Leclerc and tradition, or take a big risk with Hamilton, who is ready to shake things up? Let us know your thoughts below.